And we're live.
What's up, Talawanda family?
How you guys doing out there? We're going to show you how to cook.
This is Cook-a-Doodle Doo. Good morning. We are live from Il Casa de la Maestro.
Episode 1.
Episode 1. Today is all things egg related. You can see we've got everything ready to go for 2 great egg dishes that we know you're going to love and hopefully learn something along the way. I'm Mr. Pearson. I got the incomparable J. McDub,
Woo!
Mr. McWilliams here,
That's right.
sitting second chair. First thing we're going to do is take a viewer question.
We have a viewer question here. Does the word egg come from either a Latin or Greek root?
Latin or Greek root? Actually, the word egg comes from neither of those 2 things. What? It's a Norse, Viking, and Old English combination. Latin would be ovum, that's how you get oval and ovary and all that stuff. Greek would be like right?
Wow, that's fascinating, Mr. Pearson.
Yeah, isn't that good?
Yeah.
All right, let's start with a scrambled egg dish. We're going to do like a Tex-Mex on toast.
Now, Mr. Pearson, I have to ask a question. Do you preheat your pan before making a scrambled egg?
I absolutely preheat my pan before making a scrambled egg.
Notice that Mr. Pearson's putting the egg into a bowl to scramble it, not in the pan to scramble it. You see, the small things make a big difference when cooking. Like clean hands.
Clean hands, okay? Now, the other thing that I always like to do is make sure that the pan is hot when the butter goes in, because that way you get a better coating. It coats all the way around here, that way you get a non-stick surface. Teflon, invented by
A French guy. I don't know the name of the French guy, but a French guy.
is great as a non-stick surface, but as it starts to age, it might start to take on a little bit of a rough surface, and butter lubricates and just makes the eggs taste better.
By the way, Mr. Pearson, when your pan gets banged up with metal, Teflon, you're supposed to throw it out because the Teflon is carcinogenic. Did you know that?
Yes, and carcinogenic means?
Cancerous.
Ooh. That's
Not like Leo.
I'm a Gemini myself. Hey-o.
Boo!
So, as you can see, a hot pan gets the butter to spread around without lumping in the middle. You want a liquid surface there, okay? Now, to do these eggs the right way, you have to be ready to move quickly.
Not like Mr. Pearson.
Not like Mr. Pearson, who needs a fork. So, as you scramble, you want to whip a lot of air up into that bowl. Real quick motion with the fork. Then, once you have enough air into it, straight into the pan.
Hey, would you add salt and pepper to that while you beat it and whip it, or do you think that it'd be better to do after?
Absolutely never add salt to the eggs before you cook them. That changes the molecular structure and turns it into a rubbery mess.
Interesting.
What you want to do is cook it and then salt it when you're done. So, I'm going to take it off the heat after it's had a little bit of heat. Swirl it around a little bit. Keep working it this way. Okay. Back on the heat.
You don't just leave it on the heat. You actually move it on and off the heat to regulate, because you don't want to burn the egg. You keep moving the egg around. All the runny stuff is going to the bottom. He's moving the kind of solids up to the top, so you get a nice even coating there.
In the industry, they call this cleaning the pan, as you scrape the eggs off the side. I personally don't like an egg-flavored pancake, so I don't want it to cook all into one thing. I'm getting smaller curds of egg here. It's already almost done. Last time on the heat. And now I'm going to add some sour cream. Cold sour cream. Mr. McWilliams, what does that do for our eggs?
Well, doesn't that add some fat solids to the eggs and allows to become creamier?
Yes, it also, when it's cold, like doing something in an ice bath, you will stop the cooking process so that it will not overcook itself on your plate or in the pan while it's waiting.
Very nice.
Okay? Once all of the sour cream or creme fraiche or crema, I haven't tried it with cottage cheese and neither should you. Once all of that seems like it's incorporated and the liquid is gone, that's when you bring out
The salt and
your
pepper.
seasonings. They get to go on.
Now, did you know why you spread seasonings up high? Because when you drop it, it actually goes over a larger surface area. If you're closer to the pan, then it drops in just one spot.
You get better coverage from farther away.
Wow, who knew Mr. McWilliams and Mr. Pearson knew how to cook?
So, the eggs are done. They will continue to sit there. I'm going to move this pan onto the higher heat. You can see that I've got these potatoes already pre-cooked because they take the longest to do. You don't want to start your eggs and potatoes at the same time. Potatoes cook for longer. Your eggs will be just cooked to death by the time your potatoes are done.
That's right. You always cook vegetables before the meats because they actually take longer. Now, Mr. Pearson, I noticed that they're all basically the same size.
I did about a half-inch dice.
Why?
Because you want them to cook through all at the same time. If you have different size pieces of food, that same heat can't cook them all the way through.
Wait a minute. Are you saying that preparation matters in cooking?
It's almost like preparation matters in cooking.
Oh my gosh. Just like in the visual arts, how important it is to prepare your clay before using your clay, like wedging it out, like talk like that. Now, music, of course, it's not really important. You just go in and sing.
Okay, we've got... Oh wait, that's not for that.
That's not for that.
That's not for that. That's for the wrong dish. So, let's take the plates.
Yes.
We've got toast. That's pre-done.
Uh-huh.
We've got eggs.
All right.
Go on top of there.
Gosh, Mr. Pearson, I've never had someone cook for me so well.
Oh, I know. You're spoiled today. You're spoiled today.
Oh boy. So potatoes and
potatoes.
that's a lot of carbs.
Well, this is when you're going to go out and ride the fence line and chase the cattle.
Is this called Texas toast?
This is for our hard-working ag department getting out there, getting after it physically. And we've got a little bit of salsa ready to go.
Now that adds some acid to it too, doesn't it?
Yes, you get a lot of heavy flavors with the butter and the eggs, but the salsa adds a brightness. Do that.
Oh, Mr. Pearson.
Cheers.
All right.
Take a bite here.
Let me take my mask off. Now I got COVID.
A little salsa on the nose. No worries there.
You cook like this for your wife?
I do. She's very lucky. So, the egg curd is
She's
small.
very lucky. You know what? My wife is very lucky too that I cooked for her.
The egg curd is smaller and creamier. It's not a big rubber piece. Whole wheat toast. You got potatoes. Toss them in there just like that.
That's pretty good.
So there's your Tex-Mex scrambled egg dish.
Are we ready for question number 2?
Viewer question number 2 just after. Talk about this. If you can hear the music that we're playing today.
Some good down and dirty blues.
This is a blues band called King Bee and the Stingers. They are from Bloomington, Indiana. They were picked today because Mr. McWilliams has family in Bloomington, Indiana.
I did not know that.
So there you go. A little local flavor for your parents. That's where they live now? That's where your in-laws live.
But that's where my in-laws live.
In-laws from Bloomington. Now, how about viewer question number 2?
Viewer question number 2. This is not a very good question, by the way. Why is music so much better than the visual arts? The answer is it's not.
The answer is look at that. Look at this.
All right.
Okay, so the next one we're going to do is a little bit more delicate of a dish than the first one. Instead of scrambling things up, this is going to be that fried egg with a really, really creamy center. Okay? You get that sort of velvety yolk. Some people like to have it runny. You dip your toast in it. That's what we're going to do here. And
I found a mature taste really likes this egg better. When you're younger, you put ketchup on your egg.
On everything else.
Yeah.
This one's going to be just slightly more refined, and we're going to use the power of steam to get it done. So once this pan is
Do you know
ready,
that steam engines are actually more powerful than the modern day locomotives, Mr. Pearson?
yeah,
Yeah, but they just have more maintenance to them, so that's why they use diesel. Plus, the diesel train is not actually a diesel train, it runs an electric turbine, so it's actually a hybrid.
all the diesel trains are truly electric.
Yeah.
Well, that'll come in handy when they finally build the Amtrak station that we voted for 8 years ago. So, I've got 2 pans going now. This front one's going to be for the eggs.
He's not angry or bitter.
This back one is going to be for the more delicate cherry tomato, beautiful, fresh, lovely, that we're going to put in the back. So different than salsa because it's not for as heavy of a dish. Okay?
While Mr. Pearson does this, I always ask the question, does toast end up butter side up or butter side down? Let's find out. Yep, butter side down.
I just cleaned this place, man.
That's good.
All right, we've got almost enough heat to get this done.
Too hot to handle, too cold to hold.
Too cold to hold.
Smooth like mayonnaise. Don't play me like Sega. That's the only ones I know.
All right.
Should I cut up this, is this basil? No.
That's Italian flat leaf parsley from the backyard. Let's leave that so we can break the cell walls right before we're gonna eat it. There we go.
Ooh, you can hear those cherry tomatoes popping.
We're gonna blister the skin on these little grape tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, whichever they are. A little salt to break down the cell wall. I like a lot of cracked pepper, so we're gonna throw a bunch of that in there to really highlight that. Tossing them, not a big deal. All you have to do is flip it around like that. Little half circle motion.
He's showing off now. Just wait till cooking show 2.
Cooking show 2. All right, we've got heat on the front pan also, which means we're going to throw a little bit more butter into it. Those of you into French haute cuisine will appreciate the very liberal use of butter and the fact that one of the eggs just rolled down onto the floor.
I guess we'll have 1 egg in this sample.
We'll have 1 egg in this sample. It's fine. Toss the tomatoes a little bit.
Now, I noticed your butter's turning a little bit brown. Do you think that's a little too hot, or are you going to add some water and you think that?
It may have been a little bit too hot.
I don't know.
I was distracted by the egg on the floor.
That's fine. No one's perfect, and Mr. Pearson definitely isn't.
So, we've got this 1 egg that's going to crack directly into the pan.
Not breaking the yolk.
Not breaking the yolk. I'll take it off of the heat.
Yeah, that one's cooking.
That one's cooking. So,
Hoo-wah!
we will salt the top of this one.
Remember that.
Then, small bit of water. It's going to hit the hot surface.
He's not putting the water on the egg. He's putting the water in the pan. It's a large pan.
Cover the egg. Check my tomatoes again. They are done. Tomatoes come off the heat. Mr. McWilliams, if you wouldn't mind cutting up that Italian flat leaf parsley.
Now, one of the tips I learned about using a knife is a lot of people hold their hands out like this. You don't do that. What you want to do is curl your knuckles under, and that way you can hold the knife and you can't cut your pan that way. Well, just kidding.
Now, the water that's trapped underneath the lid is steaming up and the yolk is turning kind of a milky white. Once you see the entire dome of that yolk covered up, release the steam. Gently flip the egg. Add a little salt to the other side. Pepper goes on.
Cooking's all about timing, just like a comedian. No one got that joke, I bet.
And that is all you need. So we've got this lovely egg. You can see the yolk jiggling. We're going to put the tomatoes beside it and sprinkle a little parsley on top.
Again, up high so it gets good coverage.
And you've got a beautiful, soft, fried egg.
It always lands butter side down. I don't know why that is.
And here's the proof. You ready for this? Poke that and look. The yolk is there. It's runny, but it's still cooked all the way through. While we enjoy this...
Notice how short he is?
Yeah. Too much coffee sunk in my throat.
No, it's not that reason. He also has hairy feet.
While we enjoy this...
Frodo feet.
We have a third viewer question.
Oh. It's up to Mr. Pearson, because I'm going to keep eating.
Bob S. from Red Bank, New Jersey asks, is a thin, patchy beard a symptom of low testosterone? What do you think, Mr. McWilliams? Like a horrible...
Definitely not.
Beard full of space.
Next time we're going to do pizza at my house, wood-fired.
Next Friday, Cook-a-Doodle-Doo will be down the street at the McWilliams residence. And yeah, wood-fired pizza, and we'll have some creative things to do there. Hope you guys enjoyed.
How many pets do you have? There's a lot of hair on this.
Well, not from your beard. There's only 3 left on the face.
Hey, can you reach the top of the counter, Mr. Pearson? It's got pretty high.
The top of this counter?
Only if he jumps.
Gone, but not forgotten. Never forgotten. See you next week.